Hey, and thanks so much for listening tonight. I am Brian Thomas, and this is Music from Friends on WNTN 1550 AM. Hopefully you're following the show on Instagram at Music from Friends, and make sure you do that so that you can get updates during the week on who the guest is going to be, and so you can keep up with the playlist. We've got another great guest tonight, and it's going to be an awesome interview as always. So if you want to watch the interview and also ask her some of your own questions, maybe tell her how amazing her music is, you can do that on YouTube. Be sure you become a supporter on patreon.com/music from friends so that you can get access to that YouTube link and watch and engage with us during the interview. This is the first song from tonight's guest, and it's called Hey London.
I'm so over it, hey! Black cab into Trafalgar Square. To the pub, maybe you'll be there. I don't care if it's a foreign flight, no, I don't wanna be alone. Rain boots, wrong side of the dash. Terrified the car might crash. And gotta find me an Abbey Road before I catch a plane back home. Bittersweet goodbye. Head London, my eyes are red and proud. I'm fighting over it. Head London, losing my grip. Don't mind the gap, I'm so overeaten. There's no room for me anywhere. So I said, Head London, I'm over it. I'm so over it. Hey! Phone booth beside Big Ben. Call you up and just pretend. I don't wanna be more than friends, yeah, I just wanna be alone. If you wanna kiss the queen goodbye, then better hurry, cause I leave tonight. Clock strikes and you're out of town. I hope you have a good life. Head London, my eyes are red and proud. I'm riding over my head. Head London, losing my grip. Don't mind the gap, I'm so overeaten. There's no room for me anywhere. So I said, Head London, I'm over it. I'm so over it. Hey! Hey, London. So over it. London Bridge falling down. I'm moving on now. London Bridge falling down. I'm moving on now. Head London, my eyes are red and I'm over it. Head London, losing my grip. Don't mind the gap, I'm so overeaten. There's no room for me anywhere. So I said, Head London, I'm over it. I'm so over it. Hey! I'm over it. I'm so over it. Hey, London, I'm over it. I'm so over it.
Tonight's guest is a New England native that is really lighting up our pop music scene here. She started playing the piano at age 6, was writing her own songs by age 12, and then found herself in a metal band that was started at a talent show in high school. That passion for music would take her to the Berklee College of Music, where she finished cum laude and graduated in just 2 years. Her first EP, called Can't Refuse, was released shortly after graduation in 2016 and was a tribute to much of the folk influences from her time in college. After a series of singles, she released her newest album last month, which is actually called Self-Titled, and we get to see her pop side with that album and also see how she feels about some past relationships. She has been interviewed in countless music publications, featured on 95.5 WBRU and on John Shea's show for indie artists called Almost Famous on 95.9 WATD. And she has either won or been the finalist in several New England music competitions and award shows. It seems like she's always playing a live show somewhere in New England. She just had one yesterday. And so you have no excuse for not seeing her play here if you're in the area. It's a pleasure to welcome to the show, Lainey Dion. Hey, how are you doing?
Hi, yay. I'm so excited.
Thanks so much for being on. That was a lot. There was a lot there.
You did your research. That was good.
Thank you. Well, you have been around being interviewed a lot. I mean, there's so many people that are reaching out to you, and congratulations on all of it. And most
Thank
of it seems to be on
you.
just your past album. I mean, the singles came out this year, but a lot of those interviews were even before the album was released.
Yeah. With all the singles being out, it's been crazy. I mean, I'm so grateful for everything.
Congratulations on that. But has it been really busy?
Thanks. Yeah. It's been, I mean, the album just dropped on the 31st of August. So it's a little newbie.
Okay.
So very excited. There's some more publications coming out, more interviews, and today, yeah. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much. So I mentioned in the beginning that you started playing piano age 6, then you're writing songs age 12. You said in another interview on an airplane. So that's fun. But usually when there's an artist that has that kind of early upbringing, that means that parents were involved in music. Is that right? Or did you just say, I want to start doing this?
I mean, neither one of my parents play piano, but my dad is a musician. He used to play guitar in a band, and when I was growing up, he'd always play 70s licks in the basement, and it always kind of annoyed me, but I loved him for it. He taught me how to play guitar from a really young age. So yeah,
Oh,
I guess it's true.
All right. So what age did he teach you to play guitar?
So he would like play like the D chord, and I'd strum like when I was like really young, like probably 5 or 6, but I didn't get really into it until I was like maybe 11, 12.
Okay. So why the piano first?
My mom made me do piano first.
Okay. Even though
I have no idea why.
Okay.
Maybe they were just like the advertisement for lessons or something, but I ended up getting into Berklee on piano, so it's a good thing that she got me into that. Yeah,
that is a good thing. And the whole time you're like, but he's playing guitar. Can I go do that? Because that seems much cooler.
I mean, I was always into singing, so I mean, and I didn't have like any like technique or whatever before Berklee. I ended up hating the piano program at Berklee because it was all jazz based and I was classically trained, and I just did not know my theory, and it was like way over my head. And I was like, okay, we're going to switch. And so I retried out and got in on voice. But I never had any training on voice. So it was a whole new experience for me.
Wow. Have you done that recently?
Berklee?
No. Have you gotten any, like, I mean, there's no need to go get trained.
Oh, training? Berklee? No. I have a vocal coach that I got when I was going to try out for The Voice. I got hooked up with this artist development deal in Nashville, and they hooked me up with a really good vocal coach. And I love her. Her name's Hannah, and we actually write songs together. She wrote 3 songs on the album with me.
Really?
Yeah, we're good friends now. But yeah, I do have a vocal coach.
Which 3 did she write?
So she wrote Wake Up Call, which we're going to be talking about today with me.
We will, yeah.
Kick It in the Shadows, and Sentimental.
Oh, okay.
So 2 of the ones that we're going to be talking about today I wrote with Hannah.
And you said before that you loved how you sound on Sentimental. You mentioned that in another interview. When you first heard it, was your favorite.
Yeah, I mean, I cried in the studio when I was singing that. Funny thing about that song is I wrote it about the breakup before the breakup happened, thinking, okay, this is how I'm going to feel. And then I scheduled studio time, and it just so happened that the breakup happened the day before the studio time.
Wow. And did you feel the way you thought you were going to feel?
Oh yeah, and I cried in the studio, and you could hear me crying on a couple takes in that we kept the crying takes in there. So yeah, it was very emotional. That's probably the best I think I've sung because it's just the most raw. But yeah.
Okay. Wow. Okay, so I want to come back and talk about the voice tryouts in a second.
Yeah.
But so you said that you were really annoyed when your dad would play like 70s licks on the guitar.
Oh yeah.
So no, that didn't influence you all because you have metal background. So he didn't do metal if he was doing 70s licks, and then folk, and then pop. So you're just avoiding the kind of rock music era?
I mean, he really likes like Cream, Eric Clapton, Yellow, stuff that I just can't get behind. I mean, he liked Led Zeppelin, and I listened to that with him, and he really liked Pink Floyd, and I just couldn't get with that. He likes certain things that I don't know if it's because he's my parent that I'm like, ooh, get away, or I don't know. It's just, it's not my style. I mean, when I was in a metal band, it was very new, like A Day to Remember, like screamo, like not
right.
anything. Like it was like a Vans Warped Tour mashup band. So it wasn't like that. But I always thought guitar was cool because of him, just not the 70s music. It's just too old for me.
Right. So in the metal band, I tried to find the name of the metal band. I couldn't find it anywhere.
Oh,
so
you went deep.
I did. So I think one of the band members is D. Is that right?
I did do a set with D.
Okay.
Deanna. She's still my friend today from high school. Okay. But the band was called Less Than Three, which makes a heart.
Oh, nice.
You see? Less than sign and a 3. Yeah, very emo. Right. But yeah, and then I was in another band called the Russell Brands where we did metal covers of Katy Perry songs. So yeah.
That's amazing. So were they both in high school?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they did not carry out. That was just a fun thing.
Okay. Did one of them Less Than Three really start at the talent show, or did you like? I don't remember which one was around there.
Yeah, so Less Than Three started at the talent show, but actually it was just me and Deanna that did the show that like made me want to perform for the rest of my life. It was just her and I. It was the first show that I did before Less Than Three started. Okay. So Less Than Three started right after that. But it's so weird that I'm saying Less Than Three so much. That's not a real band anymore. Like it's done. But yeah, we did a Day to Remember cover of If It Means a Lot to You, which has a third part at the end of it where everybody sings the word la over and over again. And the audience was all singing the la part while we were singing our part. And it was the coolest thing for me ever to hear people sing the song that you're singing with you, you know? And that's when I was like, boom, got to do this for the rest of my life. So yeah.
Did you have any other plans for a career before that?
I wanted to be a marine biologist, but I'm terrible at science.
That's a problem.
Yeah. And I wanted to be a zoologist. And then I wanted to be a writer. I mean, there were so many things, a historian, whatever, but like music was the main goal at that point. I didn't know what I wanted to do before then. It was like a moment, you know, like ooh, it's happening.
This is it. So John Shea, who we both know.
Yes, love John.
Just made a comment and said, "When is the reunion show for the metal band?"
Well, my ex was the drummer.
So
that will never happen. And my other ex was the bassist.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So probably never.
This is almost like a No Doubt kind of experience, right?
Oh, they were many years apart.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
And they were brothers, so.
Oh, they were? Yeah. Whoops. It's a good thing it was,
they're probably watching right now and be like, oh, what is happening?
Hey, guys. John, thanks for that question, and thanks for watching on YouTube so much. All right. So you go to Berkeley, and you finish real quick. 2 years? How long? Yes. And it's supposed to be just a normal 4-year degree?
Yes.
Okay. And so you're wicked smart, and you worked really hard because you finished cum laude. I actually looked up how to say it. And
is it cum laude?
That's at least what YouTube said. So I'm going to blame YouTube.
What is the magna? Because I graduated magna cum laude.
Oh, you did? I think.
It's I can't see how you would say magna a different way.
Right. I just
magna.
If it's not cum laude, I'm sure somebody's going to tell me.
You're gonna correct us. Yeah, that's gonna.
Oh, by the way, thanks, John. It's basically Fleetwood Mac, your band experience. Anyway, so was Berkeley College easier or harder than you thought it was going to be going into it?
So my parents said that we'd pay for 1 year and that would be it because it's expensive. So I was like, okay, I'll get my 1 year, you know, and I tried to shove as many classes as I could. And then I was like, I could do this in 2 years. Like I could actually get a full year degree. Like we can do this. So I ended up doing fall, spring, summer, no breaks at 22 credits a semester, which is illegal. You have to actually pay extra in order to go over the credit limit. Yeah.
Did you tell your parents that part?
No, I ended up paying for the second year. So my parents paid for the first year and I got
Right,
student
right.
loans out on the second.
Okay.
But I think it would have been pretty normal academically for me if I got to spread it out.
Right.
But like, because I had to like basically, go on like crack, like it was like insane. It was like everything went through one year and like out the other because I just kept on having to shove information in, So I didn't get to retain a lot of it, which is a huge regret. But I loved it. If I could go back, I would. Like, it was amazing. The opportunities there are incredible. The being just around all the musicians is like insane. It's like going to Hogwarts for music. Like everybody's so
special
fun.
doors that you have to go through too, like that are whatever.
Yeah, everybody has their own IDs.
Oh, yeah. So I've heard before that it is very jazz heavy, and so that's true, right?
Yeah, it is
that
very
just 'cause a lot
jazz
of
heavy.
professors are like that, or is that the background of the school?
I think it's the background of the school. I couldn't really tell you, but you have to do all these ear training courses, and you have to learn about all of the 7 chords and all of the inversions of them, and diminished and fully diminished and stuff that you'll never play unless you're a jazz musician.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure they cover that when you're playing jazz at some point.
But you have to learn it. So I can play jazz, but it's not my style.
That's incredible. So add jazz to the list of things you can do. You could probably do something.
I mean,
from Eric Clapton.
Anybody can really play jazz.
Really?
It depends on how jazzy it is. If you just do random stuff in a weird time signature, boom.
I actually got into this conversation with one of the previous guests, Louis Alpion, because he was on the show and he went to Berkeley too, and he's a jazz musician. And we had this conversation about what is jazz, like define jazz, and it's pretty hard to define. There's a lot of definitions for it. So I think you're right. Just play whatever. Much more appealing, I guess.
Yeah.
So your degree, I'm going to see if I can remember this right. Business?
Yes.
Business? Okay, whew, good. Why that degree? Why not something more, I don't know, performance related?
So I wanted to get, this is going to sound kind of bad, but I wanted to get, I wanted to get a degree in something that I could live on.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's practical.
I wanted to get something that like I could do and make money with doing. And if all else fails in the music capacity, I mean, it's still a business degree, so I still have the business background of it. Yeah. But originally I wanted to go to Berkeley to be audio engineer. So I ended up getting my minor in audio production and engineering with the major in music business management. And with those two combined, I wanted to do A&R. The reason why I didn't do audio engineering as my major is because you have to have a portfolio for that of all the stuff that you've done beforehand. And I just didn't have it. And I was like, I don't have time to do that. We're going to just go for business.
Well, that will serve you well, and no shame in that at all. As somebody who has a degree in philosophy, an undergrad degree in philosophy, and then a master's in theology, which I can do 0 with. There you go. 0. There's nothing I can do with those 2 degrees. So I applaud you for thinking practical, and that's important to do.
Thank you. Yeah, if I could, I would love to do the performance stuff. I just thought that's not a really good little safety net there.
Well, you are now, so you got everything, right? You're doing the performance, and you did the practical stuff too. So
yeah, that's definitely my fallback.
You might not need it.
Thanks.
Is great. Everything's going really well for you. All the live shows and everything, like you're doing really, really well. But you came out and you did folk. Like that album is or that EP is a folk EP. Why folk?
Yeah. So when I got into Berkeley, I really liked John Mayer because everybody did there because he went for like 12 seconds and everybody's obsessed with that. So I listened to a lot of John Mayer, and then I got a roommate and she listened to Ingrid Michaelson a lot. Shout out to Izzy if you're listening. But yeah, so I really got into Ingrid and I was like, wow, like this is a whole new realm. And then I started listening to music that was like in sync. So anything that was like on the CW, all the sync stuff,
Right.
not in sync like the band.
Yeah. I was going to clarify that for
realized that,
everybody.
yeah.
That's
so
sync is what
synchronized
people-
in,
there you go.
yeah,
Yeah.
synchronized in television. And that's all very folk based too. So then I listened to some like Vance Joy, the Avett Brothers, James Bay, stuff like that. And then that really influenced my writing. I just like super got into songwriting after listening to them. So the folk album was born.
There you go. And did very well. I mean, a lot of competitions. I was going to try and write them down. Like the intro is going to go longer than the interview if I try to write everything down. I mean, really, so many competitions you've been in, and either won or finalist. Like, how does that come about? Did you just, subscribe to all these different competitions and say, I'm just going to enter everything and see what happens?
I mean, some of them, so like the International Songwriting Competition, which I've been a finalist in, I think 4 times now. That one you have to submit for unsigned only. I won. That's a stem off of International Songwriting Competition just for people who are unsigned. And that one you have to submit for. But I just got in the NEMA's, New England Music Awards. And I don't know how that happened because I didn't submit myself. So I guess someone on the board put me in for 5 of them.
I think there's a certain somebody that we know that's on the board for that.
Hey. But yeah, so 5 NEMAs this year. It's going to be crazy.
Wow, 5. And what are the categories?
So let me hold on 1 second. So we got Song of the Year for Hey London, Songwriter of the Year, Female Performer of the Year, Pop Act of the Year, and Best in the State of Rhode Island.
Wow. All right. Congratulations on that.
Crazy.
Hoping for all 5.
Thank you.
So when are they announced?
So I think it's October 17th is the award show. But the competition is so steep. I'm just lucky to be in it.
Right. No. Well, best of luck. I'm going to be looking out for it and seeing what happens. So let's talk about this new stuff. Hey London, we heard at the beginning. That song is a jam. It was a great way to open this interview and this show. I love it. It's obviously got recognition because it's nominated.
Yay! Yeah.
And that song has a great story. Past relationship. Was that I'm trying to remember the order. Was that the first song, or was it I Love You to Death that was written to kind of start your pop career?
So Hey London was the first. I got to write that with Gabe Simon and Nick Schwartz. Gabe Simon's an incredible writer. He's written for Dua Lipa and other Grammy award-winning artists. Nick Schwartz is an amazing producer. He produced the whole album and co-wrote 6 of the songs on the album with me. Wow. But yeah, Hey London was the first co-write in Nashville, and it's the first one on the album. It's the first single to come out. It's my first little baby.
I love it. It's great. But I've said to you that all the songs on this album are really amazing. I want to play that second one, Wake Up Call, in just a second. But why the transition from folk to pop?
Yeah, so I ended up getting a meeting with Atlantic Records. And they were like, oh, you need to check out this guy. Like, we love your voice, but you don't have a manager background. Like, you don't really have much of a standing. So we want to hook you up with this guy. So I got hooked up with a label in Nashville. And they were like, oh, you would really suit pop music. And at the time I was like, I don't know about this. And then, and then we wrote the song and I was like, whoa, I love this.
Like, I know about this now.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead. Are you back?
Yeah. Am I frozen?
No, you're back now. You were
okay, cool.
But face that you were frozen in. I'm gonna play the next song, Wake Up Call. If you're back now, do you want to set it up really briefly and then we'll talk more about the story on the other side of the song?
Yeah. So here's Wake Up Call. It's a song about getting dumped on my birthday via text by a guy I was dating for 4 years. So wake up and leave that guy.
What? Oh my goodness. Okay. We're going to talk about that a lot on the other side. Here is Wake Up Call by Lainey Dion.
Yeah, I'm sick of the lies. You do this every time. Award-winning actor had me fooled, it was fine. Should've listened to mom, read the signs on the wall. You never really cared about me at all. Now it's my birthday weekend, and you'd rather be without me drinking. For 4 years I believed that maybe you would change. This is my wake-up call since you didn't call me. I thought this was love, I felt the fall. I left my heart out on the porch swing. The night when you said nothing at all. This is my wake-up call. Ring, ring, not going through. Been blocked since 2 in the afternoon. Look at you at it again. Not sure where we stand, but if you were a man, you would say it to my face instead of ghosting. You promised forever, but you changed like the weather. The ups and the downs, thinking he'll come around. My eyes are open and my heart is closed in the chapter now. This is my wake-up call since you didn't call me. I thought this was love, I felt the fall. I left my heart out on the porch swing. The night when you said nothing at all. This is my wake-up call. You kick me out, I'm taking our favorite couch. Let you grow up in your Mickey Mouse playhouse. You kick me out, I'm taking our favorite couch. Let you grow up in your Mickey Mouse playhouse. Consider yourself lucky. I never took a back to your flat screen. Consider yourself lucky. I let you off easy. This is my wake-up call. Since you didn't call me, I thought this was love, I felt the fall. I let my heart out on the porch swing. The night when you said nothing at all. Thanks for the wake-up call. Since you didn't call me, I thought this was love, I felt the fall. I left my heart out on the porch swing. The night when you said nothing at all. It's time to wake up.
It's such a fun song. And that should also be a put everybody on notice not to make you mad. I love the line about you're lucky I didn't take a bat to your flat screen. Did he really? So you were dating for how long? How, you said 4 years?
4 years, and we bought a house together.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you bought a house together.
Yep.
He's gone in the morning.
Yeah, he didn't come back for a couple days. Yeah.
And he texted you?
He texted me on my birthday. Yeah.
What? Okay, so I can't swear on the radio, but what a piece of crap. So, wow.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Did you at least get the house? I hope.
No. That's what it says in the song. I took our favorite couch. I took everything. So
you did everything but the house?
Everything, yeah, but the house, yeah.
Wow.
And I left the flat screens, didn't take a bat to them. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So you probably don't talk to him anymore, I would assume.
No, but I would be open to being friends with him. But he's
really.
Yeah, I mean, we spent 4 years together, you know.
Yeah.
We thought I thought that was going to be a forever kind of relationship, but it wasn't. But it just didn't end up working out. And I slip his name into the song. So if you guys want to listen real close, you can hear it.
That's one of the kind of the background vocal things. Is that right?
Oh no, it's in plain sight. But you're not going to know.
Okay, I'm gonna go back and listen really close now. Listen for his names. I bet his name probably sounds like something around the house. Like, I don't know.
It's in there. It's in there.
Good. All right. I'm going back to listen to that right after this interview. So how do you feel about writing an album that's all about past relationships?
Yeah, so Wake Up Call is probably the scariest song for me to release on the album just because it's so specific. Like, I talk about it being my birthday. I mentioned that we were together for 4 years. I say his name in the song. Like, there's so many specific things in that song that I actually had to get the okay for him to release it.
Really? Because it would be
yeah.
slander or something otherwise?
I mean, legally, I don't think so. But I was just nice and was like, hey, this is like very specific to us. Is it cool for me to release it? So yeah, Wake Up Call is pretty scary for me to release. But other than that, I mean, everything else on the album, I like don't have any. I'm pretty indifferent to all my other relationships. That one's most recent. I mean, it ended in April. So everybody else is just kind of like, whatever. I could let anybody know my business on all that. We're cool with that.
Wow.
But because that one's
ended
so
this
fresh.
April?
Yeah, this April. Yeah.
So
this
was it
song,
one of the last songs to get on the album?
No, Damned is the last song to get on the album, and that's also about him. But this is the second to last song. So Damned, Sentimental, and Wake Up Call are all about the same person.
Oh, wow. All right.
Yeah.
That is a crazy story. So talking about pop music, you talked about your experience in Nashville. So John asked another question in the comments. He said, Nashville is obviously most well known for country music, but recently has been getting a reputation for incredible pop music. Is there a divide, or do the two work well together for you? What do you think?
Well, country music. I mean, I don't have anything in that. I'm not dipping my toes over there. But I mean, I feel like the music industry is just so vast and huge that, like, I mean, you would think country when you go to Nashville, and yeah, there is a lot of country music there for live music and bluegrass and folk, but there's tons of labels there and tons of stuff going on that I don't think there's like a big divide or that much of a difference in, like, you just go down there, you know, you're in music.
Could you sense any sort of divide, or again, it's just so big and there's so many labels, it's not everybody pulling? Got to imagine there's probably some rock music down there too and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, I went to the little strip there downtown, and they have a bar there that has 4 floors, and each floor has different music on it. So the bottom's country, the middle is rock, and the other one was like 80s music, and the top floor was all pop, hip hop, club music. That's where I hung out. So
yeah, so you're like just taking the stairs straight up
to the 4th floor.
Yeah, I've heard a lot more and more people are going to Nashville, not just for country music, but I know there was a pop artist from Massachusetts that I interviewed, or was going to interview on the show the other day, and she also went down to Nashville and is doing pop down there. So there really is, I think John is spot on, as of course, that there is this divide, and there's a lot more people going down to Nashville to kind of break into music in any way they can.
Yeah. So, I mean, anywhere that's kind of close to the East Coast is like my go-to. And I think everybody from Boston, or like in the music industry up here, if you want to stay on this side of the town, Nashville is probably the best bet to go, rather than New York City.
Yeah, okay.
That's a little too buzzing, you know?
Yeah.
But you do what you do, you know?
Right. And it wasn't intimidating at all?
No. I'm not intimidated very easily, though.
That's good.
Maybe I'm not the best person to ask on that. But I mean, it's fun down there. I did a couple of mics, which was fun. It's like any other city that you go to, only it's super concentrated with how many musicians you walk by.
You're like, hey, what do you do? I'm a musician.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. So another one of your songs that's on the album, Skin, it was also a single, I believe. Is that right? Okay.
Yes.
You said that is going to be used as sync, and for everybody listening, that's music played in the background of a show or movie or something, and it's going to be used as sync for Teen Mom. Is that correct? Yeah,
Teen Mom. I don't know what episode yet, but I'll be posting about it when it's up there. But yeah, they have it.
Okay. How did that happen? Did they reach out to you?
So if there's any artists listening, go on Reverb Nation and sign up for opportunities. I do that all the time, and that's how I get all the opportunities that I get. Okay. But there was a sync agency looking to sign new artist rosters to do sync, and they picked me out of all the submissions. So they have my whole catalog, and they thought that song was a good fit for Teen Mom. I've never seen Teen Mom, but I'll be watching that episode.
I have actually watched Teen Mom.
Okay.
I think I have to admit that. I'm sorry for everybody listening who knows me, but yeah, I have watched some episodes of Teen Mom. Well, that's so exciting. And Sync is a big world, and kind of once you're in, now they have your catalog, like they can go back to you a lot. So that's a huge opportunity.
Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, they're gonna get the album this week, with all of the stuff finalized for copyright and all the legal stuff,
Right, yeah.
But yeah, I'm very excited for the album to be put into sync.
Okay. How does that affect like licensing of the license? I can't even say the word now. How does that affect the song? Like if you play it anywhere else, do you have to go through them? to use it anywhere else? Okay.
No, I signed a non-exclusive deal. So I
okay.
get to do
Nice.
whatever with anybody ever. But there's a lot that goes behind that with all the publishing for all of my co-writers and everybody's ID numbers and all the splits and stuff. There's so much that goes into it that like you just don't realize when you start. It takes a while to get everybody in sync on everything, especially if there's multiple publishers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I'm on an app called Clubhouse. I don't know if you've heard about it.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Okay, you're on there too. All right. And I jumped into a lot
you
of
got the invite.
Yeah, I did. But now everybody's on it, and now there's so many trolls out there. Anyway, so I'm in the indie music rooms a lot, and indie music business, and they're always talking about metadata and making sure you have all their licenses and everything. There is really a lot, but it's a good thing you got your music business degree.
Yeah.
I'm sure that helps.
Yeah, it does help a little bit. I mean, nothing can really prepare you for the music industry, no matter how much knowledge you have. I mean, it changes every single day. And unless you're like placed with this question, you're not going to know the answer until, there's so many things that I just wasn't prepared for with my degree. Yeah. Yeah, it's very once you're thrown in there, then you'll understand what's going on.
Okay. Would you do anything different next time around? Like with an album? With your next album, which you will make, would you do anything different with that album?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I haven't gotten into any trouble with this album, so there's nothing to really do differently. I would definitely have more time to prepare. I kind of threw this in altogether last minute. This was not like a planned thing. The pandemic threw a wrench in everything. So this is kind of like when it's done, it's done. So there was no good like, okay, we're going to set up this time schedule with these things that are going to be planned. There was none of that. It was just like, whatever can get going, do it.
You said before on an interview on Instagram that you had to mix this lot or like over FaceTime or whatever, like over
Zoom, like we had to do it.
Studio. How does that work? Isn't there a delay?
No, I mean, so I had an engineer in the room where my producer was telling the engineer what to do. My producer was looking at me in the booth, and we were all talking. It was like Nick was there, but not really. It was a little tough because FaceTime is, it kind of craps out on you every once in a while. But it was all right. It's cheaper because I got to stay here instead of flying back and forth,
Yeah, no.
So that way worked out.
Yeah. Well, that's a plus from doing it kind of remote, I guess. I didn't know you could even do it remote.
Yeah, you should try it. It's not bad.
I'm doing this remote, so I guess this works out pretty well. All right, really quick before we get to the last song and then talk about the playlist. You tried out for The Voice. How did that come about, and how did you do it?
So they reached out to me. They found me.
Okay.
And they were like, "Hey, you should come out to Texas and do an audition." And I was like, "All right." So I flew out to Texas and did the audition, and they were like, "Prepare 5 songs." And I was like, 5? Okay. And I did my first song, and they were like, "Thanks, bye, never speak to you again." So
you're like, you called me, not like I showed up to you guys and said, "Let me do this." Really?
Yeah. And I guess for when you're doing it before you're in front of the judges and on TV and stuff, there's only one guy. So only one guy judged me. So that guy
obviously not the guy that called you.
Yeah. Hey guy. No. You made a mistake. No. Right. I don't really like those shows anyways, because it's all based on your sad story. I just don't like that. I mean, everybody has a story, but like,
you could have dropped in the text message breakup from 4
yeah,
years.
yep, could have done
Here's a
that.
sad story for you. Oh wow. Well, I'm sorry about that the voice didn't work out. But that was
it's for the
way
best.
before this. Yeah, was it way before this album?
Oh, it was 2018, I think.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
well, it really did work out for the best, because who knows what trajectory you would have been on had you
Yeah.
moved too far.
Yeah,
And
I'm not. I only did it because they asked me to, but it was surprising that they were just like, one song, see ya.
I can't get over that. That's ridiculous. All right, third song tonight. Kick It in the Shadows. We won't talk too much about this on the other side. Maybe we can say a little bit more about it. But how would you introduce this song to somebody? We heard a little bit of it, but what would you say is different about this song than the other one?
Yeah, so this song's the only song on the album that doesn't really have to do with the relationship. It more has to do with Less Than Three, which is weird that we talked about that. It's just about dressing the way that you want to dress, which to me was very goth emo scene, and really feeling comfortable in that darker side and not caring what anyone else thinks.
All right. Well, here is the last song. It is Kick It in the Shadows from Lainey Dion.
Just a couple of misfits trying to piece it all up in our heads. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Just a couple of monsters too big to hide under our beds. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We've never been afraid of the lonely, thriving in a place where nobody sees. When nobody sees. We cling to the dark cause it feels right, hanging in the shade of the moonlight. Of the moonlight. We kick it in the shadows. 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 We kick it in the wild-eyed and searching for what would feed our appetites. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Those clicks don't click with me when my ripped jeans not Gucci. You think you know it all, but you'd be wrong. Cause we're not young, dumb wannabes. Wear our hearts on thrift store sleeves. We're right as hell where we belong. We kick it in the shadows. 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 We kick it in the come alive at midnight, getting too high to be feeling shy. Dance in circles round street lights, coming undone, got cold air in our lungs. Cause we don't run from hope we've become, can't scare us in the dark. We kick it in the shadows. We kick it in the shadows. Nobody knows where we are. We kick it in the shadows. We kick it in. We don't run from hope we've become, can't scare us in the dark. We kick it in the shadows. We kick it in the shadows.
All right, so I know I said we weren't going to talk about that much on this side, but now I have to ask, how does a song like that, in your mind, how does that fit on this album that's really all about past relationships and horrible breakups?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like my album's called Self-Titled because I didn't want to name it my name because it's mostly about my exes, and I didn't want to give my exes stories my names. They don't really define me. And I feel entitled to myself again. And Kick It in the Shadows is feeling entitled to yourself again. It's being who you are and not letting anybody stop you. And I feel like the kind of poopy times that I went through. I can't swear on the
right. Yeah. I was like, oh no.
No, the poopy times that I went through with my exes, it changed kind of me, who I was, and I wasn't really being myself. And now I feel like I'm myself again, and I'm not afraid to be me. So there you go.
That is awesome. That's great. I love how it all kind of came together, and that explains the name of the album. So, well, congratulations on it. Now we got to talk about the playlist, which I really, really was thankful that you had this theme for the week of favorite female artists. Again, being on Clubhouse, I've heard so many stats about how underrepresented females are in the music industry, and as a business major in music, I'm sure you are very well aware of how underrepresented it is. Is there anything you want to say about that?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Females generally are looked at in a different way than males in the industry. If we know what we want and we want to go for it, we're looked as bossy or divas, whereas guys, they know what they want and they're going for it. It's a business move.
Yeah.
So I mean, being called diva on the stage or anytime, there's been shows where I've been like, oh, I can't hear my guitar on my mic, and sound engineers have been like, oh, well, you're being such a diva about it. And it's like, that wouldn't be something that you'd say to a guy.
No.
So I think females in the industry are treated differently for a plethora of reasons. But we're trying. We're sitting here. We're being strong. We're getting in the game.
Good. I love that. I had a lot of kind of indie artists on this playlist, and also some classics, which I'm going to play the playlist or some songs that were on it in the second hour. But yeah, it's really good to get word out there about how underrepresented they are, and make sure they're treated equally, at least. Not
and the same pay. We got a little pay difference too for being
even
female. So oh yeah, I do all the time. I see sheets where I can see what the guys are being paid and what I'm being paid.
Really? So, and it has nothing to do with headliner or not.
No. Sometimes I'm the headliner, so
and still getting paid less than.
Oh yeah, I think it's because there's a lot of older men in the industry, and because they're older, they think that they deserve more for the time that they've spent doing this. I don't know, but I know my worth, and I know I'm worth just the same or more. No.
More? Let's go with more. I'll support more. All right, so I'll talk about some of my favorites. Oh no, you've been thinking about this longer than I have. Oh no.
Oh yeah, I have. I can go over mine if you want.
Okay. Oh, definitely.
Give you a little bit
Please
of time.
Go over your favorites. And if you want to go for 12 minutes about your favorites, we'll talk about mine. So go ahead.
No, I wrote mine down. In the beginning of the intro. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to forget these. But Annika Wells, she's an LA artist right now, working with one of my friends, Dan. She's amazing. Annika Bennett as well. 2 Annikas. You can't miss that up. Gabrielle Aplin is one of my biggest influences. Yeah, you added Miss You. Yeah,
I did. Yeah, you started with that, so we went there.
Yeah, and Leon's really good. Sigrid's really good. Taylor Buono is one of my favorite artists right now. And Astrid S. These are all people that are up and coming, but they have millions of streams. So
okay, it's crazy that's up and coming. When you
yeah, I mean they're miles ahead of me, but they're still they're not mainstream yet.
You're catching
which I kind of like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks.
Wow. Okay, that's a lot. I'm gonna make sure that after this interview tomorrow, I'll put them on the playlist, make sure they get on there for a little bit, so that when I save this playlist, people can at least see some of those suggestions. Oh man, so I put Ingrid Michaelson on there because you also talked about her. She's great. I actually like her.
Love Ingrid. Yeah.
Let's see. I shared recently in my story a song from Jenny Lewis. And I mentioned I love Jenny Lewis when she does her stuff, and I love it when she's in Rilo Kelly. She's really great. Probably this was going to be another theme that I had planned for the show, but closet likes, I guess, or like guilty pleasures. That's what was going to be guilty pleasure. Dua Lipa is my guilty pleasure.
Okay.
That album is pretty good. Her latest one is
I'm
pretty
levitating.
good. Yeah, and I love physical like that. Yeah, I may or may not work out to physical sometimes.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah, strong enough to admit that. I think I can talk about that. So yeah, I'm gonna go with those as my favorite. God, there's so many that I put on the list. I've been listening to Phoebe Bridgers a lot lately.
Oh yeah.
I can't say she's my favorite because I haven't listened to everything from her, but
Lord is my fave. If I can listen to everything on Melodrama and be like that album saved my life through one of the breakups that I had. So love Lord.
Really.
Oh yeah.
And she just came out with a new album too.
Yeah, no, I don't like that one.
Don't worry, I can edit that out from this when I post the podcast. I'll just have Lord is my favorite, and
no, Lord is my favorite. I haven't listened to that one in its entirety yet, but the single that came out, it was just a different vibe for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Somebody else who's gone a different vibe, Casey Musgraves, has gone in a different vibe on her newer album than she did in her previous ones.
Love Casey.
Yeah, I like it too. The newer one, seems a little bit, more. It seems like she's going in the direction of Lord a little bit, I would say.
Oh, I'm gonna have to listen to that. Do you listen to Maggie Rogers at all?
No.
Oh, that's another one you got to add.
Okay, Maggie Rogers. I'll write that down. So
all these women represent.
Brandy Carlisle. There's a friend I have in Michigan, Sarah. She sends a lot of music. She's probably listening. I'm going to share some music that she actually sent in a Brandy Carlisle. She got me started on this Brandy Carlisle kick.
Brandy Carlisle's huge. Yeah,
and she's got a lot of stuff. So I've been now going back and listening to her stuff. So there's so many women. It's sad that they're so underrepresented and not treated as fairly as they should be. So I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry about. I'd like to apologize on behalf
of mankind
of my male gender, literally mankind, for not giving you the opportunity you need, because there's so much great music, and I'm so glad that you know your worth and how great your stuff is, so you can really get it out there and be heard. Congratulations to you on everything so far. It's been really, really amazing to meet you and hear your stuff.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Before I let you go, how can people follow you on social media? Where can they listen to your music? And any live shows coming up? Any new music coming out? Tell us everything about it.
So I'm already working on a new album, so stay tuned for that.
Okay,
yeah,
nice.
we got 3 of the songs done on the new album.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. We're just going over here. But you can find all of my socials, all of my music links, everything's on LaineyDione.com. You can find me on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, any of the streaming services that's out there. My album Self-Titled is on them. Facebook, Instagram at Lainey's Music. Everything else is at Lainey Dione. I hope you guys follow me. Send me a little message. I'd love to hear from you guys. And I'm really excited for more music, for more stuff.
Yeah. And really you have a lot of shows planned.
Yeah. All the shows are on LaineyDione.com /live, or you could go on my Facebook. All the events are there. A little less filled up now that summer's ending. It's a little cooler, a little chilly outside right now, a little chilly. But yeah, hopefully more original showcases soon.
Okay. And singing, you've done some weddings, a couple weddings recently, right?
Oh yeah. I think I had like 6 or 7 weddings this year. So I perform all sorts of things.
Wow.
Anywhere, car shows to weddings to pet adoption events, restaurants, bars, music venues, everything.
Wow. So speaking of live shows, last question from John. He said, when your pick falls in the hole of your guitar, what's your favorite method for getting it out? That happens to everybody who plays guitar, I'm sure.
Well,
live show, what do you do?
I do not use a traditional pick. I use something called an Alaskan pick that goes over your fingertip. So it's just like another fingernail that goes over your fingertip. And so my pick never falls off my finger because it's a ring. But if that were to happen, I would flip it over and shake it until the cows come home because that's the only.
Did you learn that naturally?
No, I just made it up right now.
I was thinking. All right. Did John know that? Because he's seen you play live, right? You played live on his show. Is that right?
I don't know if he's. Yeah, I played live on a show, but I don't know if you've seen my pick. It's very.
I'm sure he was watching. He must have.
Yeah.
Right.
Alaskan pick. Little plug
Alaskan
right there.
Pick. Okay. All right, and it just goes on your index finger?
Yeah, it's like a ring. It just goes on your index finger, and it just looks like a fingernail over your finger.
Huh.
I should have these in my pocket for impromptu commercial videos right now, apparently.
Brendan said carry a pair of chopsticks.
Do I? I
No,
do
you
every
should
day.
for your guitar.
Oh.
Wait, you really carry a pair of chopsticks every day?
No.
Oh, I was gonna say. How did Brendan know that? Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know who.
Right.
Yeah, no. I mean, I sushi all the time, so I do have a pair of chopsticks for myself that have a little ingrained image on them, but not for my guitar.
Okay. Well, you could make a bun, messy bun, chopsticks in the hair. If
that would require being good at that, and I am not.
Probably better than me at it. I'm just gonna.
I believe it.
Please don't make a bald joke because you've already made old jokes today. That's for the pre-show. So, all right. Oh, pair of chopsticks to get the pick out. I see, Brendan. Thank you. All right. So we'll end there again. Lainey, thanks so much for coming on the show. It was really a pleasure to have you on the show.
Yeah, this was tons of fun. Thank you so much for having me.
And finally get a chance to talk to you. I know we've been talking a lot, messaging. So yeah, I want to get out and see some of these shows. Probably not the private wedding ones, but who knows? If I ever get married,
come crash.
That's a thing. I could do that. I'll be like, I know her. I set her up with it. All right, I won't do that. So, well, again, thank you. Best of luck to what's coming up and everything in the future. We'll be in touch.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye, Lainey.
Bye.